Winnebago Talks. Welcome, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 11th episode of Winnebago Talks, a 1-hour radio show featuring the Winnebago Indigenous news, sports, and music. Join us every Tuesday as we discuss things that Winnebago talks about. Please, if you could, help us out. Share this stream on our Facebook page, which is Winnebago, the Big Voice, and let your folks know that it's over the airwaves by tuning your radio dial in to 100.9 FM, the Big Voice, KWTN. We're broadcasting that out of Allen, Nebraska. That is our city of license. We are in the broadcast studio in Winnebago, Nebraska. So we are 2 away from hitting the 4G mark in our Facebook page. So for those folks, if you have any friends that would like to be our friend, have them join up. And there's a lot of good stuff that we have on here. Today, I have 2 additional co-hosts that will be helping with this show. So let's get into their introductions. Go for it, ladies.
I'm back this week.
Good to have you back.
I'm Tyler Snake, Winnebago Indigenous Office Circulation Manager.
And I am Bethany Redhorn, the Communications Office Manager. Hi, P, everybody.
All right, good morning. So thank you guys for joining us and helping me as always. Breaking news. We always start with breaking news. Today is Nebraska primary election day. So if you folks have an opportunity, make sure you go vote at the Winnebago Fire Hall. Polls are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I think today we have some guests coming in to talk about who's kind of why it's important to vote. Maybe it is primaries and stuff. A lot of people kind of cast their vote around the presidential election and stuff, but there's always primaries and then there's the general election and stuff. But this is for the state of Nebraska. Make sure your voice is heard by casting your vote. Also, in breaking news, we have the Winnebago Spring Cleanup happening. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Dumpsters are by the Blackhawk Center, for those folks that don't know, on the south side of the building. Make sure if you have the chance to go around your work site. For those that are listening in the departments, they assigned Joe Painter assigned like everybody kind of, so HCI has to clean up their area. The human services kind of do that area. So we want to thank everybody that's volunteering, those that are helping with that. And we want to thank the Winnebago Tribe's Environmental Protection Department for their efforts.
Yep. Thank you, Pina Gigi.
So now let's let the listeners know what we have and what we're going to talk about today. We will be discussing part 2 of the enrollment discussion. We kind of started that. Tyler, I think you missed that one.
Yeah.
And it was a great discussion that we had with Sunshine and everybody. It's a heavy topic, but I think it's something that we need to discuss. It's Winnebago Talks, so this is an issue of discussion. We have Big Fire Law Firm in here. First time ever. Mm-hmm. We appreciate them. They're going to talk about missing and murdered Indigenous relatives in that effort. There was an event that happened last Thursday, and we appreciate them. Winnebago Public School will be joining us next week. Cherish Mallory from the Human Resources Department. She'll be joining us next week. I try to have her scheduled today, but they have a lot of meetings and kind of coasting down to the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And graduation's happening this weekend, so there's a lot of good things. Sunshine and the Angel DeCora will be talking and joining us with us today as well. So, Bethany and Tyler, how was your weekend?
I had a good Mother's Day weekend.
Good Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate?
I thought Bethany was going to go real vague, but...
Yeah, I said, okay, so here's the thing. Like, if people ask you, hey, how you doing and stuff, you know, we just need to carry around a buzzard and stuff, you know, and just kind of like, hey, if you say, and your reply is, hey, how you doing? And you say, I'm good, then we should just, like, everybody carry that buzzer, right? You know what I mean? Because... should you get into a conversation with them when you ask, hey, how you doing?
Elaborate some.
You think so?
I think it's cool, too, because then it's like, it shows, like, what was good about your weekend, you know?
Yeah.
I got to think. I don't know. I'll share. But I don't really go out much, but I went out with my mom on Mother's Day.
Oh, good. You got really motherly bond and stuff?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Some moms out on the town.
Yeah. Sunday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and everything, and it was good. We had a cookout at my mother-in-law's, and it was a good time. We went to Monster Trucks, and so if I can't hear you, it was pretty loud and stuff. I got the little guys, their headphones, and they were looking like DJs and stuff, but at the same time, it was really loud, and I was like, wow, you know, some of those engines and stuff, but it was a good time. I when I was a little kid and stuff, used to play Monster. Bigfoot. the guy back then in the 90s and stuff, the best monster truck was Bigfoot. He still has it. Yeah, Bigfoot and
That's
stuff.
cool. Mine was great as well. I got to spend time with my boys on Mother's Day. We had a cookout for my mom up at my brother's house, and got to go see the new Doctor Strange movie, which if you haven't and you're into that stuff, go see it.
Awesome. So Doctor Strange, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we were kind of discussing this before we went over the airwaves, and it's a kind of like a universe is coming together. Is that right?
Yeah,
so
it's like a multiverse, so it's not just one universe, and there's like multiple timelines taking place at the same time.
That is pretty interesting.
I've seen the first one. It's pretty good.
Have you really?
Yeah.
The first Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that guy in the comics. Doctor Strange and stuff. He kind of does the teleporting. Is that what he does and stuff?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to check that one out. So, do you recommend it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you gonna give away who died and stuff?
I accidentally spilled the beans on
ruined it for
Garan.
me.
I know.
So
he's
you might as well ruin it for all our listeners. Who dies?
No, don't say it.
I'm gonna be a big advocate for it. Go see it.
Okay, now we have. Let me bring in some music on this part. I love this. This is our Dear Tega music.
I don't know how that's what it.
Okay. All right. So here's our Dear Tega segment. Folks, I appreciate you guys giving us the questions. And for what it's worth, I hope like some of the advice. Last week, Jordana helped us out, and Bethany had some great advice. There was a person that needed some help, loved to work, but just wasn't happy in his job. And so go back to the episode to see what they say on that. It was really good. Here's the question. Dear Tega, how do you know if you're addicted to your phone? ? Okay, so my friends say that I'm always on my phone. I don't think I am, but I think being on Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok is a lot better than getting ready to go out, trying to coordinate going out with all your friends or family, paying for being out, and so on. I say, so what if I'm always on my phone? I can't miss the tea. All right? I'm not addicted, am I? Go for it, ladies. What do you think?
I forgot what I was going to say. But, I mean, if it's like you can't go out and being on your phone is more important, I feel like maybe you need to, like, I don't know, everybody needs to socialize some. So
right.
If you're choosing that over just spending some social time, I
just phone
maybe
face?
it might be a little bit of a problem.
You okay, go ahead, Bethany.
So I'm going to say, how do I rip the Band-Aid off? The first step is admitting that you have a problem. So you kind of partially recognize that maybe there is an underlying problem here, and would be probably good to unplug a little bit and, like Ty said, was socialize and go spend time with your family. And yeah.
Okay, so do you think maybe one of your relatives submitted this question because of you? No, I'm just playing.
I got real hot.
My face dropped. No.
No, but how much? Okay, so what would you say your average time on your phone is a day?
So, you know, on iPhones, they have that screen time feature and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was actually impressed this weekend. On Sunday, I got a notification, and mine told me that I was down 27% from last week. So I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Okay.
how much hours is that?
I don't know.
I didn't want to say.
I don't know.
I don't want to say
Tyler
mine
said,
either.
like, all these questions are about relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question. All right, so can you text and argue at the same time? Like, you know what I mean? Like, does Facebook kind of, when you say, I'm mad or something like that, does it, like, when you read it, it says, I'm mad? Or does it say, like, can you feel that person saying, I'm mad? You know what I mean? Like, can you argue through the phone?
Oh, yeah. No, like, I don't mean to
Like
just...
I could type real fast.
Like,
So,
it's like,
so if you type back real fast when you're arguing and stuff like that, it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, that person's probably mad. You know what I mean?
I think it's like
Typing up books.
how you perceive things.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to that. Because, like, you could communicate and you could say it in so many different ways, and they just won't get the message. They just don't. They're not picking up what you're putting down.
Start hitting.
What about autocorrect?
Autocorrect?
Like the word duck?
yeah.
You know what I mean? You try to argue and stuff, and then
Yeah.
you're like, I said duck. Anyways.
Yeah, I think, like, you can feel the...
like, "My
you
bad."
can, but you can't.
You got to
I
back
don't
up a
know.
little bit? No.
No, you get what I mean, though?
No
Like,
comment.
You get what I mean, though?
Okay.
Trying to get you guys to get. You get what I mean, though? People can either get the message or they don't.
Okay, so now, what advice do we have for this person that's addicted to their phone?
Maybe just go hang out with some people.
Go. Okay, so she does have a problem?
I'd say yeah.
Okay, does she have a problem?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So if you think that your friends are saying, man, get off the phone, come hang out with us, play tag or whatever,
Play tag.
that's something that we can do.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
especially if they're a kid, I feel like they got to be outside, touch some grass.
Well, they're probably not a kid, but I was just like taking it back to my kids' days and stuff because
Yeah.
I told my kid, hey, go play outside and stuff, and they're on YouTube. And watching these videos, watching kids watching YouTube, I'm like, what in the world
I
is
know.
that? Or playing with toys. I was like, why would you want to
Yeah.
play with your own toys and stuff?
There's a lot of people that got rich off of that, though, just
there?
like unboxing toys and whatnot.
That's crazy.
No,
Okay.
Just on an off topic, though, people should be mindful of what your kids are watching, though. Be mindful of what they're doing
Yeah.
on them electronics.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, thank you, ladies. That was our Dear Tega segment. For that person out there that submitted that, take a break on your phone. It doesn't hurt at all and stuff. Okay.
Survive.
Bagel bits.
For me, I'm going to be talking about the HCI apprenticeship presentations that were at the Hojak Center. I'll be talking about the Earth Day Walk in honor of Child Abuse Awareness Month, hosted by Human Services. It's an annual one, so talk about that. And then hopefully this week, maybe today, we'll finish our ribbon skirts and we could have that in this issue.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. So Angel DeCora still doing, everybody getting ready for powwow coming around the corner.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And we will, the series.
I'll come back to try to win.
Jordana gave you a win last week. So it is actually, what's the series here? Just make sure I got this is the 11th episode. So 4 wins Bethany, 3 wins Tyler, and 3 games you guys tied. So we're going to find
come
out.
back this time.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, Tyler. That was the Bagel Bits. And we'll invite our first guest up here momentarily. That's Big Fire Law Firm. And let's talk about who do we got for top 5?
Top 5 this week. We have our winner from last week, which was Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. We have 2. I do this every time. I'm like, I'm gonna remember what it was. And then number 2, we're sitting at Flashing Lights by Kanye West. 3, Hotel California by the Eagles. Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child. And 5, Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. And you can go to the Big Voice Facebook page and vote, or you can vote on the story or the graphic, or you can text the 402-922-3347.
Awesome. We had a great time. We had a special guest help us out. That was Sandy Mackey Scott.
Shout out Mackey.
We were rolling and everything. It was crazy and stuff because we did our British accent segment and stuff, but he went off script and did Forrest Gump. Caught us all by surprise. I could barely breathe. It was crazy. It was nuts and stuff. Anyways, thank you, ladies, for being here. Can you guys going to give us your introduction and tell us who you are and what you do?
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us here. My name is Jennifer Bear Eagle. I'm a senior associate attorney with Big Fire Law and Policy Group.
Jennifer, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
In your title, I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. What was it again?
Senior associate attorney.
Senior associate attorney. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I also have the pleasure of serving as the general counsel for the Winnebago tribe.
You do.
And I am a member of the Oglala Sioux tribe.
All right. My grandmother is actually, her name is Gina White Cow Killer. So President Killer out there, we're relation.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thank you for being here. And we also have...
My name is Andy Snowball. I am an associate attorney with Big Fire Law and Policy Group here in our Winnebago office. And I am Winnebago and Creek. And also, just a slight correction, this isn't Big Fire's first time on, technically, because I know you had Danelle on the other week. And she was here for the hospital, but she's one of our founding partners. So
awesome. And then we also had Lance, and he's part of your partners, right, too?
Yes.
So,
I missed that episode. So.
Yeah, we had them on, and then so you guys, they came in with their other hats. So you guys are actually wearing the Big Fire hat today.
Right.
And
Yes.
sometimes we'll do that. I'll take off my communications hat and put my DJ hat on or whatnot and stuff. But what are you guys kind of some of the things that Big Fire? Can you tell us about Big Fire? Like I don't know who wants to tell us about, but what is it? And for those listeners that don't know, we're broadcasting out of Allen, Nebraska. We got some listeners, like my Hispanic friend up there in South Sioux City listens to us, and there's some farmers over in Allen that listen to us. So what is Big Fire Law Firm?
Yeah, Big Fire Law Firm is a 100% Native-owned law firm, majority woman Native-owned law firm.
Cool.
We represent Indian tribes and Indian organizations nationwide. We have offices up here in Winnebago and Omaha, and soon to be opening one in Washington, D.C. We have
Wow.
attorneys across the country, and our goal is to help Native people, Native organizations. We represent a lot of tribes. We do economic development, tribal government, and
Nice.
we're here to help the people.
Shout out to Wendy out there in Washington, D.C., huh?
Oh, yes.
So I was out and I had a opportunity to DJ out there in Washington, D.C. for All Native Group, ANG. And Wendy took me around one day and she gave me the grand tour, the Smithsonian, everything and stuff. And every place that I went, they're like, hey, what's up, Wendy? You know what I mean? So she is really well known up there. And so I always wanted to appreciate her and thank her for taking me around. So appreciate that. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So today we're going to discuss an issue that recently I seen you guys' Facebook, and I follow you guys, and you guys recently posted a thing about the movement. Can you kind of tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So last week was the MMIW, which is the Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women movement, and it's a grassroots movement that really started up in Canada among the Indigenous population up there that has been growing in the past few years. And the purpose is to bring awareness to the issue, to the plight of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And we've
I am sorry, this thing keeps popping
up. And it really is a nationwide, international crisis that we unfortunately have some really terrifying statistics related to our population. So it was a grassroots effort to bring exposure to the issue and to basically shine a light on the crisis. And it is a crisis. There are a lot of factors that relate to what's going on, whether it's jurisdictional issues, because as you know, or maybe you don't, maybe the listeners don't know, but there are a lot of complicated jurisdictional issues as to, related to Native people. Native women are murdered at a rate of 10 times higher than all other ethnicities. Murder is the third leading cause of death for Indigenous women. More than 4 out of 5 Indigenous women have reported or have experienced violence. That's about 84%, which is incredibly high.
Wow. More
More than half of Indigenous women experience sexual violence. More than half have been physically abused by their intimate partner. Nearly half, about 48%, have been stalked in their lifetime. Indigenous women are 1.7 times more likely than Anglo-American women to experience violence. And these statistics are horrific, and they do go on, and there are a lot of contributing factors to that, whether it's jurisdiction or colonization, historical trauma, and for far too long we have been overlooked. And so this movement has really come up and shone a light on this devastating issue. You'll see, we'd be happy to share some resources with you if you wanted to share on your webpage. But so the purpose of last week was to kind of, post about it so people become aware. There are a couple of important dates in the movement. February 14th and then May 5th are really 2 big dates where we want to shine a light and expose the issue. You may have seen pictures of people. They have a red handprint on over their mouths, and that's really to represent the silence of the media, and these are our sisters really losing their voices and not having their stories told.
Right. We recently did a story, and Bethany and Tyler went down, but there's a semi truck. And kind of tell us about that, Bethany. So
with excuse me, with Elizabeth, she is the Ho-Chunk trucking owner, sole owner. She travels all over the United States, but she is the first, or as far as, I don't want to get my wording wrong, but the first Native American, or Winnebago Native American, to own her own trucking company. And we just got to sit down with her, and she kind of gave us insight on, her life story, things that she's been through. She kind of came over a lot of struggles, and it's really inspiring because I know a lot of women can relate to, like you said, a lot of women do endure like violence, sexual abuse, whatever it may be. There's a lot of things that contribute to that, and she continues to do her best, and she was able to fulfill her dream of becoming a truck driver. So we just tried to shed light on that, and if there's any girls out there that they want to become a truck driver like that too, like a CDL is a good license to have as well. So
yeah, I guess to travel coast to coast.
Mm-hmm.
But on her truck, she has
sorry.
We were talking about the handprint, and she has Winnebago ladies.
All
on
Winnebago
there.
women.
Yeah, like there was Jaleesa
Horn.
Thelma, there was
Mm-hmm.
Pilar. All and it raises awareness because there were people taking pictures. Should be down like in Texas and stuff, and they'd be like, "Wow, check this out." So it really kind of has almost like gone viral, but it's like you said, it kind of so people talk about it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's kind of an interesting, like, I don't know if juxtaposition is like the right word, but like truckers, here and in Canada contribute to a lot of the missing and murdered Indigenous,
Right.
women and
That does make
girls
sense.
and two-spirit people. So it's awesome that she's, kind of trying to change that narrative a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure. It's raising awareness,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like just
Because
changing that a
the
little bit, which I think
trafficking,
is awesome.
we're always kind of worried about around here. I-29 is like a lot of traffic, drugs, whatever. There's a lot of things that go up and down I-29. So definitely, I think I kind of see where you're going. So far as missing, murdered Indigenous women, there was recently a story, and condolences to the family and stuff. But there was a non-native out of Florida. She went missing, and there was a massive FBI. Everybody got involved, and they were searching. There was dogs. There was like helicopters. There was news coverage. There was everything for this non-native person that went missing. Unfortunately, they did find her body. But why don't they do that for Indigenous women, do you think?
That's an excellent question, and one of the reasons for the movement is because of that silence by the media, and too often people will overlook and ignore Native women, and whether it's jurisdictional issues, colonization, systemic racism. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons for it, and we do see that across the media for a lot of Black, Indigenous people of color, where maybe we don't necessarily get that type of exposure. So that really goes back to the reason why this movement is growing, is because of reasons like that. And we see that in real time. There have been some official actions taken in the last few years to address it. As it's, as I mentioned, it started as a grassroots movement and has really grown. And so when our firm posted it, we really want to continue to bring exposure to the issue and to get people to continue to talk about it. On the federal level, there have been a few actions that have been taken in the past few years. In 2019, the White House had a proclamation designating May 5th as the National Day of Awareness for murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls. And when we talk, I just want to take a step back, and I do say MMIW, and really we're wanting to cover the whole spectrum, because it's not just women and girls that Indigenous women and girls go missing. So sometimes you'll see MMIP, missing and murdered Indigenous people, or MMIWG2S. And so we really aren't intending to exclude anybody. It's just that the movement started MMIW, and so
Definitely. I understand that. I think there's a lot of it popped up maybe in the last, 5 years, that there was some staggering statistics. Like if they were reported, the FBI didn't assign anybody, or even the Nebraska State Patrol kind of just brushed it off. But now that they recognize it, and there's some things coming down, like you were mentioning, in that world. So as lawyers, I know that part of your job, let me ask you, I always ask my people that come on here, why do you love your job? I don't know if you want to, why did you just decide to put on the lawyer cape and become a lawyer?
Lawyer cape. I don't know about that.
But you have to take it off, right? 'Cause Andy, you dance. You know, you're a ho-chunk dancer and stuff like that. But I mean, that would be really cool. You know, if you dance with your lawyer outfit or something. You know what I mean? But anyways,
Yeah, it might look a little strange, but I don't know. I mean, I always was kind of gravitated towards the law just because I like, you know, the order of it. There's like these rules and stuff,
Yeah.
and I like being able to, you know, understand all the nuances of how the laws interact with each other
Yeah.
to help other people that might not necessarily know how to navigate those areas to,
Right.
you know, help you, you know, start up your business or, you know, like file something in court, you know, get a divorce or, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
what have you. And I think that a lot of non-natives just kind of maybe have an avenue to find those resources, just, you know,
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons. And Native people might not. So if you know a Native lawyer, then it's easier to, you know, kind of get what you need or where you need to go,
Right.
get a reference or anything like that. So
Right.
I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's
No. I just don't know if you woke up one day and, you know, you go through college and you're like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. You know, I try and it's just not for me. But I don't know. Some lawyers, I just love to argue. You know what
no,
I mean?
I'm
So
not that kind of lawyer. I did a whole lot of
there are
nothing
lawyers
for a
like
long
that.
time, but I did. I worked with Danelle and Lance and Sheila Corbine for 5.5 years as a legal secretary, paralegal, and it's like seeing them. They're, you know, very impressive.
Out of those three, who likes to argue the most? No, I'm just like,
Oh, you know who?
you know. Okay.
But yeah.
How about you, Jennifer? Like, what turned on the light bulb?
Well, you know, I always knew that I wanted to do something to go back and help my own, you know, my community and, you know, all Indian people. I just didn't know what that was. And so I went to college. I went into it thinking I would be like an English professor, and I went to grad school thinking that's what I wanted to do. And then one day it just really hit me that what I was doing at that moment didn't feel like it was enough. And so I did wake up one day and said, okay, I'm going to go to law school.
Did you really?
And
okay.
Because I knew that I didn't know that I wanted to be a lawyer per se at that point, but I knew that what happened in the courtroom and what happened in Congress, those were things that directly impacted people back on the reservation.
Right.
So I knew that, and I could see that. And so I knew that the only way, because, you know, we as Native people, we are unique in the fact that, you know, that things that happen up on, you know, Capitol Hill and, you know, these laws that don't necessarily apply to non-Indians, these everyday things do affect us. And so that's what I knew that I wanted to do. And so I ended up going to law school, and
Nice.
I was fortunate enough after graduating or while I was in law school to meet Lance and Danelle and get a job with their old firm. And
Yeah, the mission of Big Fire. That's awesome. Like, you guys been knocking down some great cases, some positive cases, and some cases that should have been knocked down a long time ago and stuff. But I know that recently you did the one for the gaming initiative. I think like Big Red Casino Kino was trying to sue so and so, and we kind of did a breaking news segment on the last issue about that. Then also you guys helped out with the pipelines, right? Got that case kind of dismissed or whatnot.
That Nikki Ducheneau is our like lead litigation group attorney, and she's a bulldog, so she worked a lot on that. So
Okay, so in your lawyer terms, what's a bulldog?
she I don't know, you don't want to mess with her. She's
Yeah.
she's fierce.
Just like a bulldog for sure,
Yeah.
right? Okay, awesome.
she's fellow Lakota woman, so
Yeah.
we're pretty tough.
For sure. I mean, definitely. So, what would you guys consider if you guys were a dog? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I was a dog, I'd probably say I'm just a lab, you know, a Labrador and stuff. I just kind of like to bark around every now and then and stuff. But what would you guys say?
I don't know. I'll be a husky.
Oh, yeah, husky. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I have no idea what I would be. I'm not incredibly loud, so maybe a quiet dog that you don't want to kick. I'm sure that's every dog.
Would it be a res dog? Kind of mixed?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe be a res dog.
No, we just love to ask weird questions on here and stuff. So this is the Big Voice. We appreciate you guys. So yeah, more about this initiative. I'm sorry, we kind of went off way left field and stuff, but is there anything else that you want to mention?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a few more actions that have taken place recently. In 2020, Savannah's Act became law, and what that act was named after Savannah LaFontaine Graywind, who went missing in Fargo, North Dakota. It requires the Department of Justice to review, revise, and develop policies to address these cases. And then the Not Invisible Act was passed in 2020, which increases intergovernmental coordination, so different agencies to work together to help to come up with solutions to combat that violence. One thing is that commission it's in existence. It's under the Department of the Interior in the BIA Office of Justice Services, but it's was only authorized for 2 years, so that's coming up on the second year, and so hopefully it gets reauthorized. And there are other things happening on the federal level that we're hoping continue, like Secretary Holland announced the formation of the Missing and Murdered Unit to focus on cases.
Anti-Deb doing a thing
yep.
there in Washington, D.C., for sure.
The VAWA reauthorization is always so important.
What's the stand for?
Violence Against Women Act.
Okay.
Is always so important. And, for tribes, we want to continue to, work on, expanding our own resources. And as I mentioned, jurisdiction is always a big issue. And so any steps that tribes can take to help expand resources for tribal courts and law enforcement to be able to do enhanced, to be able to prosecute non-Indians for domestic violence offenses, enhanced sentencing beyond 1 year. Things like that are big picture steps, but also we have a toolkit we can share and you can provide a link to for how tribes can respond when a woman goes missing. Like, what should you do when that happens? Things to consider is why is she missing and is the disappearance voluntary? Sometimes women do leave because of violence at home, and then there is a reason for that. And so it's to avoid further abuse. Or is she missing because of force or violence? And so we want to look at that. It's really important, and again goes back to the whole reason for the movement is to make sure that law enforcement is contacted, is aware, that you advertise, you document what's going on, get that visibility out there, and so people don't fall through the cracks. So it's important to contact, report disappearances. You don't have to wait for someone to be gone for, maybe sometimes people think that, they've only been gone for a day or two. I don't, I have to wait a week or something before I report it. No, you can report right away. We want pressure on law enforcement and other entities to put out alerts on Facebook so people are aware. I mean, we just want to keep the issue raised and be sure to, keep searches, walks, all this other stuff to keep the pressure on people in power to know that, hey, you can't ignore us. You can't ignore Native women. It's really important. We matter, and we don't want any more stolen sisters.
Yeah, thank you for those words, and we appreciate the encouragement and also the direction of what to do of that. I kind of have a scenario. I was just thinking about, why we in there's okay. So here's it is. If you can help me on this one, help me understand. But there's a lady, and I'm thinking about this out in Pine Ridge. Okay, now she goes on binges where usually they go away for 3 days and then come back for usually around first of the month or whatnot, and alcohol has an play in that and stuff, you know what I mean? But how do you approach that, you know what I mean? Like, far as a person that goes, hey, they're just gonna go out for the 3 days, and usually when you start to drink and stuff, there's a lot of people that they don't stop, you know what I mean? And then they come home. Well, this time she didn't come home and stuff like that. But what do you say to her? You know what I mean? Like to say, hey, eventually you're gonna go missing, or eventually something's gonna happen bad. You know what I mean? Is there kind of any advice to give that family, or maybe speak directly to her on how to kind of not do that?
I don't know about trying to change somebody's behaviors who has some probably deep-seated habits. Yeah. But as far as like the family, if somebody's, if the way that, somebody operates, say they go on, 3-day bingers or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you kind of start to immediately, once notice that something's different, start to write things down, contact people. You don't have to contact law enforcement. You can, kind of conduct your own search and try to find somebody and just keep a record of, what you're doing, what were they wearing when you last saw them, like so that you don't have to try to remember those things later when they're not as fresh and when you do contact law enforcement. And then there's also the name is, what is it? It's the National Missing and Unidentified Person System. And that's where you can log missing, not log, but, you can enter information about a missing person. Anybody can do it. And law enforcement is required to follow up and update those cases. So, maybe it's not at the point where, maybe you think, oh, maybe she's just gone for a week this time. But you can still, start taking steps to, if you need to build a case to try to, find her later on, then
that definitely helps out. And I think our Winnebago community, I've seen like a lot of times a person goes missing and we do a lot of shares and everything like that, because we're kind of a small community and just be on the lookout or whatnot and stuff. So keep the job up, everybody that's listening and everybody that's here in Winnebago, and just create that more awareness. And we'll post some links here in our Facebook and on the stream. But ladies, we appreciate you coming in here today. And is there any shout outs or anything that you guys want to say?
I just wanted to mention Legal Native Nebraska, their Native American program. They have a really good domestic violence and abuse person who has so many resources, and she goes around to the domestic violence programs with tribes and gives information, and that's Kirby Williams. And
okay.
So you can look them up.
Yeah, Nebraska Legal Aid, is that what
okay.
Okay.
They're a great resource. So just
awesome. Shout out to them.
Somebody wanted some more information.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody who, takes the time to post and to share posts. When someone goes missing, it does make a difference, and it certainly helps the family members to know that people out there care. So I think if you could at the very least continue to do that and to, make people aware that this is a real serious issue. And so the more visibility, the better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think that the more that we talk about it, like even my daughter and my grandmother and my daughter had that conversation and stuff. And, there was a time where a long time ago, you wouldn't have to worry about some of this stuff. We would leave our doors unlocked or whatnot. But nowadays, it's kind of a little interesting. And I think, we can hopefully get back to a better community as well as nationally make awareness towards our Indigenous and missing and murdered Indigenous women. So everybody that has a hand in that, everybody that's creating awareness, we want to thank you guys. Bethany, anything you want?
No, I just thank you, ladies. That's a lot of good information that I feel like a lot of people maybe they're not aware. And when we do get the links up, I think that I encourage everybody to kind of take a look through and read it and see what you could do
Definitely.
to help.
So here's the elephant in the room. Okay, I got a speeding ticket. Can you guys help me? No, I'm just playing. Thank you guys for coming on in. We appreciate you, ladies. Big Fire, much success for you. Come in anytime and give us an update on another big project, another big case, or anything that you guys are working on. I know that there's, you always see in the media and stuff, lawyers, they can't really comment on ongoing stuff. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we can update our membership on some of the stuff that is happening on that level. And we appreciate you guys for being mentors too, just by your actions. I mean, there's probably young gals that are growing up that would like to be lawyers, and Danelle has a great story of becoming a lawyer. You two ladies have a great story of becoming a lawyer as yourself and stuff. I always lose my arguments, so I'm not going to be a lawyer. I know that's not my future and stuff, but appreciate you for doing everything that you do at Big Fire Law.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Also, you can just be a know-it-all and not an arguer. So.
Oh, yeah, that's the secret. Cool. Awesome. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. Okay. All right. So, we have Top 5 Thursday.
Yep.
Birthday shout-outs Thursday.
Birthday.
What else do we got Thursday?
Thursday, we have, what do we have on Thursday? Mushroom hunting. No, I'm just playing. I heard the weather's good for it.
Yeah. I mean, the nice weather, there should be popping and everything. So, It should be good. Should be good. Hopefully you guys get out there and don't get stuck.
I know.
If, you know, some of those guys, if you guys need...
Don't be taking your little cars down there. Hop in a truck with someone.
Right,
Nah,
right. Okay, next up we have Sunshine Bear and Cassie Kitcheyan.
Hello.
And how you ladies doing? Appreciate you coming on in. Thank you guys. We got kind of some good feedback, and we want to talk about some of the things that we have going on. And one of the things that we started to discuss last week was the enrollment issue that is taking place. I call it an issue because I think it is an issue, you know what I mean? But we're going to have a discussion here. And so for those that don't remember, kind of recap what we discussed and some of the points that you took away from that discussion. Do you remember, Bethany?
Yeah, so we're trying to I can't even say it. We're trying to get between whether or not this blood quantum, taking it out and not making that the factor of what we decide who gets enrolled and who doesn't, and just finding a better process to getting more enrollment or, yeah.
Yeah, so I text Cassie last night and said, Cassie, you know, we have this great discussion about enrollment going on and stuff. Can you tell us kind of what you know about enrollment and kind of, you know, some of the things that, for those that, so we can catch everybody up. So what is enrollment and why is it important?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
So I was telling Garan, like, I teach about this every semester, so I got a lot to say.
Yeah,
But, so enrollment in terms of blood quantum, this is something that, blood quantum itself is something that was introduced and it is rooted in white supremacy and, settler colonialism. And it was created in a way to limit rights of people of color. So you had Indian people that were determined, if you're a quarter or more Indian, you're considered Indian. And the one drop rule for African Americans, if you have one drop, then you're considered, African American. And in those things were created with a hidden agenda. So for Indian people, we had land. So the more Indian you are, the Indians, they wanted to erase us because we had the resource that the settlers wanted. So it was a way to withhold land rights basically to us. And for African American people, it was more expansive, whereas, if you're one drop, then that makes a bunch of African Americans because we need, and that's great because we need a lot of African slaves so that they could work our fields and build capitalism and all that for us. So there's two separate sides to that. So in the 1700s in Virginia is where you have these laws of, we need to determine who's a person of color so that we can limit their rights. So if you are not white, you don't have the same rights. So at its core, it's determining who has what rights, and for us it limits our rights.
Wow.
So then you fast forward to allotment, and then where again was probably one of the most damaging pieces of law put into place because it took all of our land. So like I said, at its core it was really meant to limit us, but now it's something that we're carrying on its legacy. Mm-hmm. We're owning it and we hold it against each other. And enrollment really has become weaponized, sadly, especially because it was created outside of our communities and now we uphold it. So I know, though, that because of intermarriage with other tribes and other races, this has really come to the forefront, and we're at a pivotal time in our history where we need to figure this out, or the government's agenda is we're fulfilling it for them. So I listened to the last segment, and it just brought up a lot of discussion, and you said, well, what's the solution? And she said, well, I'm not the tribal council.
I
know. But it's important that we use our voice because, like you said, the tribal council, is our basically is our voice.
Yeah.
So it's important that we continue to share our concerns And myself, my kids at one point weren't allowed to be enrolled in the Winnebago tribe because of the moratorium. And that really hurt, at the core, that my kids are born and raised here and they're not members, but thankfully, shout out to John Snowball, and I remember the day he voted to lift the moratorium, and I was crying at home. I was so happy that my kids were no longer tribeless children. They have a place within our people, and so just kind of personal interest in it.
Yeah, I mean, you gave us the background of why that is. I mean, that's kind of like, I heard the second time that one dropped. Mm-hmm. And there's other kind of places that do that, but the whole reason behind that, and I was thinking about it, and I remember I kind of asked that question, what about, if we open it up to everybody, then there's going to be no per cap, or the tribal member services is not going to, they're going to get overwhelmed because our tribe's going to grow 5 times. Mm-hmm. But, and then I was thinking too, okay, so if I wanted to, take it, you're born into royalty. You look over in England, you know what I mean? So, like, how does that, there's a lot to figure out. I mean, there's a lot to figure out. I don't know. And I was thinking about some solutions. There's one, I don't know if there's any solutions that you guys came up with or can think of. One on the table is making everybody, or resetting the roles. Now, what is a role? The base role. Is that the census?
So the base role is basically the original role of allotment recognized by the federal government. Okay. So with the Indian Reorganization Act, where there's this template of a constitution that was sold off, basically, the Secretary of Interior would go to different tribes and basically like, hey, talk, you should do this. This is a good thing. Let's formalize your tribal government. Mm. And with that, so not all tribes are IRA tribes, but we are. So we accepted the Indian Reorganization Act, and with that we have the Constitution, and then you have the tribal enrollment requirements in there. So that base role would have been our tribal members that were a part of that tribe at that time.
Okay, so everything kind of goes back to that base role. And that was back in, what, the 1800s, the 1900s? I'm not sure what.
I didn't check that before I came here, but
if anybody knows, you know what I mean, we can, I want to say 1936.
It was after, so 1934 was when the IRA was passed, so it would have been around that time. Yeah. But
we didn't get voting rights until when? We have Melanie here that's going to help us out because today's primaries and from HCF. Melanie, you want to come up here? We got a great discussion. This is Melanie, and we're talking about all kind of. We're really heavy today. You know what I mean? This is like let's see here. Just get her some headphones and stuff. But they mentioned as far as voting rights and kind of everything that we didn't have voting rights, as we weren't recognized as citizens until a certain time period, which wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean?
1924.
1924.
Yeah, and then some natives, if they fought in the wars, were extended citizenship prior to that. But yeah, it's we weren't even.
So they were just kind of don't even care about what they vote for. Don't even care. Don't even give them a voice or the opportunity to do that. I mean, that's horrible. Then we got boarding schools, and then we got missing and murdered Indigenous women. I mean, it's tough to be Indigenous, folks, but that's what makes us so strong. So anyways, we're talking about, being enrolled in some of the things that are happening. Far as, kind of like the royalty, being born of royalty. What do you say to people that want to say, hey, keep our Winnebago bloodline strong?
So enrollment can be a very divisive issue.
Yeah. There's always going to be two sides, definitely.
Yeah, and so that's come up before when all of this, because I actually helped start a grassroots effort in this enrollment issue. And it was, we were made up of a group of parents that our kids weren't enough prior to the moratorium being lifted. And one thing we found out that there's no one-size-fits-all solution for everybody.
Right.
So when even you include other Indian blood, that doesn't help those that have had children outside of Indian country, outside of, you know, the native people, with non-native people. So that's really difficult. So when someone says, you know, well, you should have thought of that. You know, one thing that we discussed in that group was, you know, who are you to tell me who I should fall in love with and have children with? And
we always say we don't know who Cupid's going to shoot that arrow. You know what I mean? We just don't know.
Exactly. And another thing, because we talk about this a lot in my classes, is a lot of my students will say, well, my relatives say I'm related to everybody here. I'm related to everybody around us. So, you know, I went outside the reservation. So there's that concept too.
Yeah.
So those are just some of the comments made, you know, when someone says.
So folks,
But I think if you look back at the history, remember there was a war, was it against the Iroquois Confederacy, where a lot of our population was nearly decimated to an extremely low level, which was, do you know around the year that was?
No, I don't.
So that, during that time, we were decimated to, was it around 300 people?
Yes.
So this was a long time ago. And so at that time, we had to go into neighboring tribes to seek refuge, but we also sought, you know, mates, you know, so we're still, I mean, like, if you think about it, since then, there was maybe 300 people after being in this war with the Iroquois Confederacy. And then, so how did we rebuild our population?
So that makes me wonder.
Oops, sorry. Go and throw that on. We have Melanie here from Ho Chunk Inc., and she's working with the community impact engagement. She also does some of the things. Is it on?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
I
sorry.
can't hear you.
Okay, 1 second. There's a mute button here. Oh, okay. Go for it.
How about now?
Yes.
So I was just going to say that makes me wonder, like when they first started the enrollment system in all tribes, you know, at the very beginning, people were automatically, I'm assuming, determined to be full blood, for force, whatever.
Whatever they chose to give.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
they chose. So, just to kind of give you my opinion on your guys's, or on Garen's question.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the history that you two gave, I think about, like you said, your question, what was your question again? Sorry, about what do you say to people that
Keep the bloodline strong, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we need to figure out a good solution that works for us here in Winnebago, because none of us were probably full blood at the time that they implemented this system on us. So
Thank you. I think that's what I was kind of trying to point out, but you know, I
Yeah, it's
also
just weird
I don't want to offend anyone, and
Yeah,
I know
sure.
Cassie doesn't, and I
Right.
also know Cassie has to go to class here at noon, so she's probably going to have to step out. But I
Bring your
think, you
class
know,
there.
yeah, tell your class to come
Yeah.
up here. But I think that, you know, when we truly think about it, look back at our history, yes, you're right, you know, that we probably weren't 4/4 at the time, but that didn't determine that for us as a people, who we were, who we belonged to. You know, it was our family, our kinship, who we came from, our descendancy, our ancestors, that type of thing. But this colonialist frame of mind and thinking that we're pushing onto each other, it's just like, isn't this like one of the final steps of genocide, where we're oppressing ourselves? Because I think there's like 10 steps to genocide. So we're at the latter stages of that, where we're doing it ourselves to ourselves.
I know we didn't discuss it in high school. Enrollment wasn't an issue and stuff, but I always kind of felt something, you know what I mean? And then it really started to feel something when the per cap came, and people were like, hey, you know, that person shouldn't be enrolled. And then I heard stories, and like I said, I don't want to offend anybody either and stuff, but we do have to discuss it because we're in the latter stages of this, and it is an issue. But there was like, they don't even look, you know, Winnebago, things like that, you know what I mean? And that's like, wow, what is that? You know what I mean? Like how? So before this base role that the government gave us and stuff, what made you Winnebago? How would you go back way back and stuff? You know, who came out of the Green Bay banks and stuff?
Yes.
Who was Winnebago and stuff? But like eventually along the way, you know, was adoption or intermarrying or kind of, you know?
Well, like Sunshine said, that kinship system really did set us and put us in relation to our relatives, and it really created that network of the tribe. But, you know, if you think about our removal and all the removals that we've had, there's histories and stories of our people maybe not making the full journey and them seeking refuge with other tribes. So not only did we, take in other tribes or adopt people in, we were also, absorbed into other tribes as well as a way of survival. And
Definitely.
so we have to kind of think about that. And so when I see a lot of other tribes kind of having similar traditions, beliefs, powwow dancing, I think about that. Like at one time, we didn't have these definitive lines. We didn't define ourselves by this blood. And first of all, if you think about the physiological and biology of it, you can't quantify blood. Blood keeps us alive. Blood is what's pumping through our veins. How are we quantifying that for our race, for our tribal membership? So if you talk to, a science person, they kind of laugh at it. And that goes along with these at-home DNA tests.
There's no scientific real truth behind
Wait,
those.
Cassie, can you just go ahead and drop that mic?
So, but they're making millions of dollars off of this, by selling this fake narrative that, you can figure out how much you are, this and that, but it really doesn't hold any weight as far as membership of a tribe. And with that, I will drop the mic and head to class.
For real, I'm going to do it now.
But thank you again for allowing me,
Thanks,
to
Cassie.
weigh in on
Okay,
this.
so part 3, or hey, I just got to, is there going to be like a group or anything like that where we can, as the big voice, help you discuss this more or anything like that? Maybe something to think about, you know what I mean?
Maybe we
But
could work together on a different day and
yeah,
set
because
something up,
I'm
like a
sure
round
there's
table
people
talk
out
or
there that
something.
have strong opinions on enrollment that we need to discuss
I
as
think
well.
that'd be good.
But like you said, we need to discuss it because it is an issue in 2022 for our tribe. So thank you, Cassie, for being here. Appreciate your insight, and good luck in finals week. Graduation Saturday. Yeah, graduation Saturday at 11 at the Winnebago Public School Theater. So join us. It's a huge class this year.
How many
There's
graduates do we have?
25 graduates.
Is
Yeah,
that
good
the
job,
biggest of
ladies.
our graduate size?
Getting there, definitely.
Nice.
So, and we have Melanie. Can you help us out here? What do we got? Today is a special day for what reason?
Today is primary elections for state of Nebraska. Well, it's all over the country, but today is the primary. The polls are open until 8 p.m. tonight, so you can vote. And the general election will be held again on November 8th, and polls will be open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on that day as well, where the voting poll is at the fire hall downtown here. And if you're wondering about whether you're registered to vote or not, you can always find out by, calling the Thurston County Clerk's office. If you want to register, you can mail it in by October 21st. Needs to be postmarked by then. You can register in person with anybody that's a certified registrar. I'm a certified registrar.
Oh, okay.
Or you can go down to the county office and register, or even at the post office, or you can register online, and the deadline for that is October 21st. You can go to vote411.org/register. And there's other websites too that'll take you to voter registrations in your state. But on the ballot is, state, for the state elections is the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state. There's the U.S. state representatives on the ballot, U.S. House. And I just wanted to just kind of give some information on why it's important to vote. Was that Jennifer Bear Eagle? Was okay. I heard her say something about, she didn't wake up, or she woke up just saying, I wanted to be a lawyer, thinking about the things that were impacting Indian country that happened in Washington, D.C. This is a way for Natives to have a voice, because I hear a lot of people say, I'm not going to vote. My voice doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, but yes, it does. You get to have a say in who you choose to represent our state, our county, and basically our reservation, and so that's one of the reasons why I, choose to vote. And I've chosen to be a part of, the workers down there at the voting poll.
Oh, cool.
So I'll be working down there later on today.
Yeah. Signing autographs? No, I'm just fine.
I'm not that famous. But if everybody wants my autograph, I'll sign. But you know, voting is a part of our democracy, and it's our right to vote. And there's no law that requires us to vote, so it's everybody's choice to vote. And I think that's it.
Good job.
Yeah.
we appreciate you. I texted you and I was like, oh man, can you come in real quick and just kind of give us the rundown on primaries? To be honest, like I didn't care about voting when I was in college and stuff, you know what I mean? But I know it is an important issue and stuff. I know that everybody kind of pays attention to our tribal elections, but we need to pay attention to the state of Nebraska and what's going on nationally as well.
Yeah, same, Garan. When I was younger, I like could have cared less to vote, you know, but I didn't start voting in these until probably, I can't remember, but I just think about, you know, the when people say my voice doesn't make an impact, but I think about when President Obama was elected, you know, a lot of people didn't want him to be in office as president, but you know, look what happened. He served 2 terms, and that was awesome. That's what I think about. And
there was a huge vote for gaming in Nebraska. If we didn't cast our vote, you know what I mean? Who knows what would happen, but it passed by landslide and stuff. Bethany, I got a question for you. Do you vote, or is there a reason, kind of like your generation, do you think it's not important, or?
No, I think it is important, but I'm just kind of on that. I think I'm at that crossroad right now where like it is important, but I didn't really have I didn't think it was that important, but I know it's important now.
What would you say to people that are not into politics? Like that's their, how come you don't go vote? I'm not into politics. I mean, like, what would you say to them?
You really don't have to be into politics to vote. I mean, even if you're not sure who to vote for, I mean, the people at the voting poll can help you. Also, just go, you know, we have the internet at our fingertips, basically. Just, you know, Google your ballot. I myself I'm not familiar with everybody that's on our ballot.
Yeah, especially for primaries, right?
Yeah, for primaries. But I have until November to get educated. And one of the things that I wished we had here in the community is a resource or somebody that could do research and, you know, give some basic information on what the issues are at the, you know, at least state level, and maybe national, but like who our candidates are in office and who's up for election, who's good for us, who's bad for us, you know, that kind of thing. I wished we could have that.
Maybe we could have something like that here, Garan, like closer to, you know, the actual voting in November. But someone I always reach out to every time I go vote, or if I'm wondering who I need to vote for our best interest, because who has time to, you know, educate themselves on who they need to vote for. But a resource that I use is Michelle Lemire. And she's great about knowing who to vote for, and you know, I just trust Michelle, so that's who I ask. You know, if I wonder,
we need somebody to help share that knowledge. I don't know if that's something.
I think I know a girl named Melanie Parker that can probably be really good at that. Works for HCI.
Oh my gosh,
you know her, Bethany?
I was gonna say I need a clone, but I have a twin. No.
Hey, shout out to your twin, your sister.
Shout out to my twin sister. Oh yeah, shout out to Michelle Parker, my twin. She's a
fellow Wildcat.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
Wayne State Wildcats.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's listening, but
we had a lot of graduates.
Shout out to our graduates that graduated from college this weekend. And this weekend we got the Winnebago Public School graduation and Little Priest graduation. Woo! That's awesome. I mean, they're big classes, huge classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so polls opened 8 p.m. tonight, so you have time to vote.
Yep.
Winnebago Tribe, they allow you to go vote and stuff, so there's no excuse not to go vote today.
Yep.
You know, you could take off work and go down there and then clock back in and stuff. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good things that are happening for that. I know that so is it the governor is going to change this year?
Yes.
Pete Ricketts no longer going to be governor. Okay, so we're going to have a new governor.
Yes.
And that's an important thing that we need to keep our eye on.
Yeah, I think if it's anything that you want to vote for, this election is do some research on which person you would like for us to have as a governor.
Yeah.
Seen a couple of candidates, or at least one that I know I'm not going to vote for.
How about do we have anybody that's on the ballot for, like, is it school board or anything like that? Or
I haven't looked yet.
Okay.
But possibly. I don't really know. I should have looked before I came up here. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We'll all go find out together. You know what I mean? But is like what the county seats and stuff like that. There's some people that.
What else did I saw like state judges and attorney general, secretary of state. Oh no, lieutenant governor is what I saw.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, state judges, I would have no clue on that one. Probably tried to go with the last name that really sounds cool or something, but.
I was going to say, when you asked me that question on that, I remember I voted when I was like 19 or something, but like I didn't know none of those names. And I think, yeah, I just was like, I'm going to do this. And I kind of made a pattern with my votes.
Oh, yeah. It went in doubt. But still, you're casting your vote.
Yeah.
And that's important because, like I said before in that last section, we didn't have the right to vote for a long time. Now we finally have the right. And, you know, let's just do it because people say, we ain't going to go up there and campaign because they're not going to vote anyway. But let's go to Winnebago, man. They come on full force. You know what I mean? Let's do that. I remember Dr. Frank Lemire and Ann Downs. They were headquartered at the Winnebago I asked them, I was like, hey, can you guys come down and let's do a Facebook Live? You go back to our Winnebago Tribe's Facebook and you'll see them on there. And he was asked, you know, he's the National Democratic chair.
Yep.
And he was like, where are you going to be at? You going to be down in Omaha? You going to be down in Lincoln, Sioux City? Where are you going to be at? He's like, no, I'm going to be down in Winnebago. You know, my people need to come out and vote, and they're going to show you that their voice matters and stuff. So I was like, wow, that is really cool. You know what I mean? So we did a Facebook Live remote, and it was awesome. So get out there and vote, folks. I mean, Winnebago, we appreciate you, those that already had voted, and those that are going to vote here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Garan. And everybody, don't forget to vote today. And remember, you can vote again on November 8th.
November 8th. All righty.
And remember, some of the history that I shared was that last week or the week before, we overturned voting here for, because it was all white run village. And then they had a secret tribal meeting at the BIA, and then they came in and turned that on them. I forget what year that was. That was a couple weeks ago I shared that.
Can we have a voting rally like on that one, what is it, Black Sheep or something like that, where Chris Farley, you know, those guys come out and they're rocking the vote and stuff like that, and then he comes out and he was like, hey, yeah, it gets everybody all pumped up, and then they go, can we do that?
I never saw that.
We never seen the Chris Farley. I think it was Black Sheep or one of those movies. I don't know.
But okay. No. Okay, Garan.
All right, you guys have, okay. So, Sunshine.
Yes.
We have on this day.
Okay, so on this day, we have William Winnebago. His birthday was today. In 1919, he was born.
Who's William Winnebago?
So he was a World War II bomber pilot and one of the highest-ranking tribal members in the military. He was born, he's the son of William Phineas Winnebago and Marie Marguerite Zerby. As a young man, he attended public school in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, going on to study mechanical engineering at the University of Cincinnati, later transferring to a Polytechnic Institute in Reading, Pennsylvania. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and the U.S.'s entry into World War II in 1941, he enlisted as an aviation cadet and began his training. At that time in history, military aviation was still an incredibly new and dangerous part of the military. Winnebago trained to fly the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. The B-17 was a modern bomber with a 10-man crew, radio, and turrets to protect it from enemy fighters while in the air. By the time Winnebago graduated from training, Nazi Germany had invaded much of Europe and was exterminating those it deemed as racially inferior and subhuman. Winnebago would go on to serve with the 333rd Bomb Squadron as part of the 94th Bomb Group. He flew missions bombing factories, critical infrastructure, and attacking German submarine pens on the Atlantic coast, which housed German U-boats. Throughout the war, Germany used U-boats to attack and sink Allied shipping convoys, carrying troops and vital supplies crucial to the Allied war effort. Bomber crews and pilots like Winnebago faced many dangers on their missions. Besides the risk of being ambushed by enemy pilots, Allied aviators faced dangerous ground fire known as flak. If a bomber crew was unlucky enough to be shot down over enemy territory, pilots and crew faced the risk of summary execution by angry German troops or the prospect of being interned for years in a German prisoner of war camp. While flying missions, Winnebago was shot up a number of times, but he and his crew were able to fly their crippled plane back to England and crash land over friendly territory. By October 18, 1943, Winneshek had joined what the pilots called, and excuse me, the Lucky Bastard Club, a small group of men who had flown 25 or more missions from England to Germany from August to September of 1945. Winneshek later served as commander of the 410th Squadron, and by the end of the war, he had completed 42 missions from England to Germany, including the infamous Black Thursday raid, which resulted in 77 B-17s being destroyed and the deaths of around 590 pilots and crew at the hands of enemy fighters and flak. Winneshek would survive the war, having a long and successful career, ending with him retiring in 1971 as a full colonel, making him the highest-ranking person of Ho-Chunk descendancy in the U.S. military so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's his birthday today. So thankful to him for his service, and also wanted to talk a bit about a post that we made yesterday, which was about John Redhorn. He was a tribal member who served in the Second World War from 1943 to 1945. Redhorn served in the 760th Tank Battalion during the war, where he both drove tanks and served as a tank gunner. Redhorn's battalion saw action in the Nepal's Foggia, Rome Arno, North Apennines, and Po Valley campaigns. One of the tanks Redhorn likely served in was the M4 Sherman. Decorated with the Good Conduct Medal and Distinguished Unit Badge, Redhorn was honorably discharged after the conclusion of the war. And I also seen in our Facebook post yesterday on him that he had some other medals, so hopefully somebody can send us some of the information, Bethany, so we can update the information that we have on him. But I just wanted to mention him as well. You know, we have so many of our warriors that served in the military that are important to our people.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for, they always say that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the freedom that we have today. So we appreciate all the veterans, especially the Winnebago veterans, Ho-Chunk veterans, and these two gentlemen. So thank you for, I did not know that we had Winneshek complete that many missions. I heard about him, they talk about him and everything.
And
stuff,
we had the highway thing, didn't we? Was he one of them, or was that?
No, it was Sergeant John Rice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the other gentleman that got the Medal of Honor. So, we appreciate that. And then, speaking of honoring our veterans, do we have a homecoming powwow update?
We don't have much to update right now. I know we do have a meeting tonight. Going over the, what is it? It's not a brochure right now. I have no idea. It's my first year. I'm just learning everything. So how do you like it? You ready to? Yeah.
We were talking
Garan talked me into it, Bethany.
We're talking about volunteerism and stuff. You know what I mean? But I think in the long run, we do it to honor these gentlemen.
Yes,
and all veterans.
Yep.
And stuff,
and I have a lot
thing.
of veterans in my family, so I don't mind. Which is also why I'm on the Women's Auxiliary.
Yep.
So just honoring them, and I think powwow is just a great time for families to get together. And it's so we want to make it as smooth and enjoyable as possible for our people.
Kathy LaRose announced that she's going to be the head cook.
She's the head cook.
So we appreciate her. And I was kind of thinking about it, that the food, what I mean, that everybody wants to, I'm going to go to so-and-so if I get a present, Santa Claus or whatever, you know what I mean? But the way that we do it, and a long time ago, it's tradition, is that, we feed the people.
Yes.
So that is a part of like giving you a gift and stuff, that what you take for is that nourishment. It provides your body with life and everything. So without food, we wouldn't be here. So
that's a big thing for me as a mom too. Like, I like to cook, and bring my family together and cook for them.
We're going to have to get recipes from you, me and Tyler, for sure. Bethany, do you cook any?
A little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. What's your go-to move?
Spaghetti.
Yeah, for sure. How about you?
My kids really like the white chili or the zuppa that I make. We're a soup family. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, we're a soup family because we're a big family.
Yeah.
So soup was always easy for us.
So Bethany said, Winnebago Talks next Tuesday. We're going to have a taste test, and I think Sunshine Bear's going to bring some
zuppa.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So,
and we also have someone. We picked someone for the crowns and sashes.
Okay.
Shoot, I forget Jamie and her mom's name. but those are the ones that are doing those. I seen an update on them, and they're already. I'm excited to see them. So yeah, shout out to them for their hard work. And
it's a tough decision, and it's a lot of courage to our young gals to get up there. They have to talk in front of the elders. They have to go and dance in front of the people.
Yes.
And then at times they represent the title and stuff. So I know as far as being a powwow princess and stuff, I was never a powwow princess, but it just kind of, there's a lot of ladies that are really shy and whatnot and stuff.
And I think that's just how we are as a people.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same
talkers.
time, to accomplish being a powwow princess is a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
So shout out to our ladies, our junior miss and our senior miss powwow princess, and those that are going to be running this year.
Yeah, yes, I'm excited to see what happens. Like I said, I'm new on the powwow committee. It's my first time, so I just want to, learn everything that I can and try to hopefully help where I can.
Yeah, in the Navajo Nation, in order to run for the powwow princess for the Navajo Nation or be Miss Navajo Nation, you have to
butcher a sheep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Butcher a sheep and stuff. And
I would
that's a
like
good
to
tradition.
see some cultural items brought back for our princesses, but
Right.
Not this year, obviously. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
worry,
I mean,
girls.
I think the more, if they can learn the language or introduction, we have our Ho Chunk Renaissance department. We have a lot of history that, so maybe the ladies take a crash course or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that would be good, because as princesses, they're also representing our tribe everywhere they go. I know some of our princesses went to the Gathering of Nations this past, was that 2 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's always nice to see them out, representing us.
Yeah, yeah. There's
And they have to carry themselves. as a
controversy around
princess, so
Gathering of
yeah.
Nations. We
Yes,
don't talk
there
about
is.
Bruno. We don't talk about Gon. No. But anyways, they say it's a money making machine or whatever and stuff. But it's just, hey, it's a celebration.
But for that, why couldn't all of us get together and make our own venue somewhere?
Well, I think that Return of Thunder's powwow, I told them, I was like, hey, keep it going and stuff. You guys probably going to outgrow the West High School gym.
Exactly. It was so nice to be there, and just watch and listen. And it's been so long with COVID,
Right.
that I've been sitting around and watching any kind of dancing. It was just kind of revigorating our, just helpful to me.
I think right here where Winnebago is, they say, okay, as far as the singer-wise, Southern drum groups, Oklahoma, you have all your Southern, and then in Minnesota area, and north of us is all the Northern drum groups. Mm-hmm. So this is where the North meets the South, and I think Sioux City or Omaha would be a great place to have a huge powwow. You know what I mean? Like Denver March happens usually, but that's kind of out west. This right here is the I-29 artery, you know what I mean? Like this could be where the North meets the South.
And I had seen in some of the history, newspaper clippings, that they were having a powwow in Boys Town a while back.
Oh, really?
Powwows there
Boys
once
Town.
a year.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sure they haven't done that, because they didn't have one when I was there, and that was in the 90s.
Yeah. I just want to send a shout out to all the parents, seriously, that get their tiny tots and get their, young ones and stuff. When growing up, my mom would have to do her hair. She would have to do my hair. She would have to get all my brothers, but you have to go, and sometimes you don't know how to make all the regalia.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you have to go ask for help and stuff. So parents and grandparents and guardians that are helping their little ones dance this year, man, thank you very much for bringing that in that circle, in that power of that circle is really powerful. You know what I mean? You're out there dancing and stuff, and you could just feel the drum. And there's kind of a spirit, seriously, and stuff. So just all the parents and dads and moms and grandparents and stuff that are beading, that are making their outfit or asking somebody to help out. Because there's businesses out there that do that. They make the regalia and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, totally, because, it takes dedication from the parent to want to do that. Mm-hmm. And for myself, with all my sons, I couldn't do it because I couldn't afford it, and so I think that's part of the mission at the museum, where we have our sewing nights and trying to teach everybody and help them learn, is that, so you can get your kids out there and do this,
Yeah, and the Winnebago is having that youth achievement powwow. Mm-hmm. One year we did it, and there was maybe about 5 kids that had regalia, but there was 25 kids out there dancing in the street shoes. You know what I mean? In the regular street clothes and stuff. They wanted to dance. So our kids want to dance and stuff. We just need to, I know that you guys are having your group to build the skirts and
Yeah.
everything for the ladies and everything. And so just keep it going. Boot camps happening, right?
Oh, yep, tomorrow.
Boot camp happening
the
at
Vets building.
Vets building. So
Yes.
bring your kids on up, and they learn the dancing and what is it? Just whole chunk applique or is it?
Applique right now. We're looking for a male to help us with the boys. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you guys can think of anyone or you, Garan, want to help out there,
Yeah.
just let us know. And
Do you have a lot of boys show up, or is it just for the girls right now?
right now it's just for the girls because
Okay.
we don't have anyone out to help for the boys.
Awesome. All righty. Cool. All right. Thank you. We're not sad today.
Oh, did we talk about graduations coming up?
Oh, yeah, graduation. Let's go.
Yes, congratulations to the graduates so far. I know that Wayne.
Class of 2022.
Yeah, Wayne graduates Saturday, right? Is Little Priest.
Yeah, I just want to welcome everybody that's a Wildcat. Shout out to the Wildcats, the fellow kiddies out there that got, not it's
Yeah.
Sunshine's like, yeah, no.
And we also have the high school graduation, which is on Sunday. I think it's at 2.
Yeah. Sunday
Yeah,
at 2. And
at
in
2.
the what do they call it? Competition gym.
Yes. And then we also have other graduations coming up, like different 8th grade, like St. Aug's and public school, and our educare graduates.
Yes,
coming
the
up,
Head
so,
Starts, man.
yeah.
I was talking about the outfits and stuff. Woo, those guys show out. The little boys and the little girls and stuff. They got, I didn't have that when I was graduating and stuff. I think my hat was beaded and stuff. But man, they're just getting creative. With
Yeah.
the ribbon work designs and stuff. My mom she's doing a lot of ribbon work designs on the Cassie. They put that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't think I have my daycare one or whatever I graduated from back in the days and stuff. Where they give you the little, what is that called?
That satchel or whatever?
No, the I don't know, the rope?
The gown.
The gown,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't, I have my high school one and I have my
satchel.
college one, but
Yeah, that's what I have, is my college ones.
yeah. Yeah, so awesome. Good.
So yeah, congratulations to all of them.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we're flipping gears here.
Sure.
You're going to have to help us here.
Okay.
The questions, the hardest they ever been. The hardest they ever been. Okay, the answer is, folks, here we go. The answer is what you have to do. 5 questions that I will ask my co-host here. One is Tyler. She's in the other room. She's not listening. And ties are possible. We'll keep track of who's winning the series. So the series right now, 4 wins for Bethany. She's been on a roll. She did drop her game last week, so that means 3 wins for Tyler. 3 games they tied. Who's going to win the 11th game? Are you guys ready? Audience, are you ready? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The first question. What is the closest planet to the sun? Your answer is... What is the closest planet to the sun?
Mercury.
Mercury. Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you help me out? Here's your- I crushed my pen earlier. Okay.
Here, use my lip gloss, Sunshine. No.
Now, people are like, dang, those questions are hard. Give them multiple choice. All right, so I listened. We listened to you here at the Big Voice. What is the most expensive movie ever made? Now, this is a multiple choice. Is it Avatar, Titanic, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, or Avengers Age of Ultron?
I'm going to go with Avatar.
You can go with Avatar. Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, Avatar. That was a good movie.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're coming out with
They're coming
another
out
one.
with a new one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that CGI and stuff. Definitely. Okay, what does NATO stand for? You we're talking about it in it's this is actually my brother's question. My brother Lewis. He's like, "Hey, what does NATO stand for?" I didn't know it, but I thought I would ask it. I know. He watches all the Russia and Ukraine and
It's
everything. NATO.
the National Alliance. Hold on. Not national. I don't know. Hold on.
Why should I go away to the? Okay.
I don't know. I gotta think.
Okay.
I know you're looking at me, so I was like, I don't know. I would just say the National Alliance Trust Organization.
Okay.
Just throwing
Final
stuff
answer.
together.
National. What'd you say?
National Alliance.
Trust Organization.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the next question. In Winnebago, In Winnebago. Think about Winnebago, right? Okay, go through Winnebago. You know, I have a drone, so I fly back and forth. How many indoor basketball gyms do we have in Winnebago?
Good question. We have I'm gonna go with 3 or 4. I'm gonna go with 4.
4?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, 4. All righty. Okay, this weekend we had a big celebration. It was actually held on Thursday, but it was called Cinco de Mayo. Okay, Cinco de Mayo means 5th of May, right? What is the meaning behind this holiday?
You got me. I don't know.
Everybody was posting about it. Everybody was, they had the TikToks going. They had all the kind of the memes going. Everything. So why do we celebrate
their day of recognition as becoming American citizens?
Day of recognition of becoming American citizens for our relatives to the south, across the border?
Something like that.
Okay. Day of recognition, becoming citizens. Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Cool. There we have it, folks. Go ahead and call Tyler in. Here we go. Did you know the answers?
No.
No, you didn't know that. I told you they're the hardest ever that we ever had on the show.
I feel like I should know the planet one.
You don't know it? I'll give you a little secret. Well, she's not in it. She got it right. Yeah. Yep. So we are tied. Here we go. Bethany, Tyler. Well, Tyler could tie up the series today.
Yeah.
She could tie up the series and stuff. All right. Okay. Welcome, Tyler. Go ahead and equip up there. Once again, folks, make sure you join us every Tuesday, Winnebago Talks. Next week, we'll have the Winnebago Public School joining us, talking about some of the things that are happening. We also got some good things happening within the Winnebago community. Is that microphone on?
No.
All right. What color is that? Is that
Blue.
Okay, the blue one?
Blue.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. She did pretty good. Not really.
I'm scared.
Okay. Question number 1. What is the closest planet to the sun? What is
Look
the
at this
clost
guy.
planet to the sun?
I'm gonna say. Don't look at me. Just put eyes on me. I'm gonna go with Earth.
Okay, Earth?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. That answer is... It's Mercury. She got it right.
What the?
She got it right. Yeah, the closest
Really?
planet to the sun is
Why did I make
Mercury.
that face?
But it's not the hottest planet. Do you know what the hottest planet is? I don't either, but...
I don't either.
I just,
Is it
it's-
Venus?
It's Jupiter.
No. What's the next planet after Mercury? Oh, my
Venus.
goodness. Help us out, audience.
I said
Who knows?
Venus.
You said Venus? Is it Venus?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Mercury,
So that's
Venus.
the hottest planet then, because then it's third. Then it goes
I have no
Mars.
idea.
Third is
Yeah.
Earth.
Is Pluto a planet,
Not
did
anymore.
What happened?
It's
what
too
happened?
small.
What happened to Pluto?
It's a
They're
star.
floating around
No, I'm
now.
just playing.
Okay. Second
Knows
question.
everything over here.
All right. This is multiple choice.
Okay.
I'm going to give you
Yay.
the answer is going to be in this multiple choice. Here it is. What is the most expensive movie ever made? This is multiple choice. So is it Avatar, Titanic?
Titanic.
Say it like that. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, or Avengers: Age of Ultron?
Those are really cinematic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Avatar because I know it was like 20 million or something, huh?
20 million?
It was up there.
Yeah, a lot of CGI in it. We were
She's
talking
laughing. I
about
don't think it's right.
that. That answer is
Oh.
actually it is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Was it?
Stranger
Oh,
Tides.
I was thinking Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Avengers after I said Avatar too.
Yeah, Avengers was second. Did you know Avengers was the second? And then Avatar, Titanic and Avatar were down there, but they're like 379 million for Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Avengers was 365 million. 365 million. Can you imagine a million? Now, 100 million, not 200 million, but 300 million, and then
That's ridiculous.
that
I
is
know.
crazy. That is nuts. Okay. What does NATO stand for?
I heard it before. National. I looked at it. I don't know it.
You don't know it? Okay, give me kind of the N stands for what?
Nicki Minaj.
Nikki.
Oh, it's not every
the
time.
go-to
No.
Nikki. Okay. Anyways, keep
Yes.
going.
Segue her in.
Yeah.
I don't know it at all.
Okay. North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
I would have never got that.
North Atlantic. I didn't need to get it either. My brother's. This is my brother's question and stuff, but he says it's always in the news and
What was
stuff.
the O for?
The North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
I got the O right.
So we talk about treaties here at Winnebago Talks a lot of times, so you guys should know it. No, I'm just playing.
I should. Yes.
Question number 4. In Winnebago, how many indoor basketball gyms do we have?
Damn, okay.
Indoor basketball gyms. Basketball gyms.
B-ball.
Not the outdoor ones, the indoor ones.
I'm going to say 4.
4? Final answer?
No, I'm going to say 3.
You're going to say 3?
That music changed me up. Because I know they built a new one at the school.
Yeah.
3.
3. Final answer. Well, that is...
Is it
Okay.
5-4?
Yeah, I count 5.
I count 5.
Help me out, audience, but I think this is, I count 5. Okay, so Winnebago Public School has 3. They just recently had that addition. They have the competition gym, then they have that practice gym, right? So that's
and
3.
then they have the
Then you
Boys
have
and
Black
Girls
Hawk
Club
Center,
area.
and then the one that's kind of hidden but not really hidden is the St. Augustine's gym.
Yeah.
That's one I didn't
St.
count.
Augustine's
I
gym.
counted St.
Do
Augustine's.
they still have the little basketball gym in the Reformed Church area?
Reformed Church. No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Upstairs where
Oh,
all those windows are.
yeah.
I remember when I went to daycare there, they used to
Did
let
they
us go
really?
upstairs. They have a basketball
Yeah.
gym up there.
Wow. So maybe it is.
6?
It's soon to be 6 for sure. Boys and Girls Club is going to get a gym
Yeah.
when they build
And then
up.
St. Aug's has that new school.
Is there another gym in there?
I'm
Oh, yeah, they're
guessing
expansion.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
should
So
probably
maybe
cover some of
soon to be
that.
7. All
So
right.
ask us again. Nah.
Okay, here you go. We're going to get you out of here. So,
Damn, I lost. Do I still get my lifeline? forgot
I
about
think she
that.
does. No, you
No.
won. You won last week.
She won, so I could have. Oh, dang it! Why do you guys always do this to me?
Okay.
You got to bring it up.
This past weekend, a big celebration was held. It was actually held on Thursday, but a lot of people celebrated it this weekend. Huge fight. Canelo Alvarez lost.
Yes, he lost.
It's crazy.
How do you feel about
you know?
that?
He just bit off way more than he
Yeah.
could chew. He's just too small. The other guy was just a natural light heavyweight, I should say. It was called Cinco de Mayo, which means 5th of May, basically. What is the meaning behind this holiday? People posting all on social media, TikTok, Facebook, seeing it all day.
I would say, like, gee, my voice is crying. I would just say kind of celebrating their heritage and just what they're all about, you know? Their, I don't know, togetherness.
Togetherness? Okay. I don't know. I'm
If
gonna.
it's a
You be the
6.
judge on this one. Okay. I might give you a point here, but here it is. The meaning behind the holiday is to commemorate the anniversary of Mexico's victory of the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862.
That's very specific, though. Nah.
So
That's
you
what-
What do you think?
I was talking about it with George, and that's what we read, but his
So
dad
you-
doesn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
What do you think? No?
Yeah,
Or-
I don't know.
It seems like it just turned into a day of celebration, so I should get the
A
point.
day of celebration. Well, it
Mine
actually,
kind of was in there too, so.
What do you think? What would you?
I don't know.
Come on, you're the judge here. That's your whole
Staring at her.
reason that you came up today. Is which one is it?
Breathing down her neck.
I think it's that one.
Would you say again? What was it? What would you
Like
answer?
togetherness
Togetherness.
and culture.
Just celebrating their culture.
I am going to give her a.
What was Bethany? What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I said something about them becoming like.
She was confident. in her
Citizens.
answer, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
is that
good.
what it is, though?
No. It's the day that they won against. So, to my understanding, and I just looked up the Wikipedia page and stuff, is that they were outnumbered. You know, French had more weapons, they had more, firepower and everything, but they, won that battle. So that kind of caught on, and it was more morale booster for them, and they eventually got conquered and stuff. But I mean, that battle on the 5th of May was one that they probably sang songs about and everything. It actually, the United States celebrates that holiday more than Mexico actually celebrates that holiday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
pretty
It's
interesting.
more of a Mexican-American holiday.
Yeah, our relatives to the south. You know what I mean? I mean, that's pretty good. So, anyways, with the score of 1, Mercury, Bethany comes away with the win. Congratulations.
Ask us about
Bethany.
planets more. No,
I know you was
How'd you
going
know that
up.
one?
I don't know.
You know,
It was tucked in there somewhere.
was it really? All right. Yeah. Okay. So, any shout outs, anything like that?
Today is issue week's deadline, so if anybody has anything to submit, they could send it to me at tyler.snake@Winnebago Tribe by 4:30.
Okay.
Mhm. And we have All Requests Live on Thursday with me, and you're going to join me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, so we'll be going live on the radio at 11 to 1, and if you want to submit any song requests, you can actually start sending them now. I'm going to just keep reiterating that every Winnebago Talks because I need your guys' requests to come through.
Yeah. Give a shout out. Just don't try to be like under. You know,
Yeah, don't
like,
be
what if-
vague.
what-
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, if you don't want me to say your name, that's fine, but at least just let me know so I know who I'm talking to. And it's kind of like more so with our demographic so we know who's tuning in.
Yeah.
And we have a better understanding of what. And, you know, if you have a song you want to hear, you haven't heard it on there yet, you're more than welcome and encouraged to text 402-922-3347.
Dreams. That's a good song. I love that song. The second one is let's
The
see.
second one is Flashing Lights by Kanye West.
That's a good song,
3
too.
is
Hotel.
California by Eagles. I was like, dang it, Garan, took my song. No. And then 4 is Bills, Bills, Bills by Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
And 5 is The
About that time.
Weeknd, Save Your Tears.
Save
Oh,
your tears.
nice.
Put that one in.
Yeah. So it right now
crying.
she posted it and there's like 40 comments on there and stuff. It's a
Yeah.
good race.
Oh, nice.
It's a good race. So top 5. Birthday
can I
shout outs at noon.
Can I request a song?
Mm-hmm.
Best Day Ever by Mac Miller for the graduates this
Yes.
year. Yeah, so there we go.
I'm
sure.
gonna add some insight real quick. I had that first listed before I put Save Your Tears by The Weeknd, but I was like, I took it off because I was like, no, I'll just wait.
It's graduation weekend, our
I
week.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Happy graduation day for everybody that's going to be graduating on Sunday and Saturday, and those that are going to graduate wherever college you may be and stuff. So
Yeah.
thank you everybody for all your hard work, and appreciate you guys joining us for this issue of Winnebago Talks. So heavy topic today. We discussed enrollment. This
Yeah.
was part 2 of that discussion. We discussed missing and murdered Indigenous women by Big Fire Law Firm. We also discussed some of the things that
Like our history.
Yeah.
the history of our 2 veterans.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
appreciate that. And you folks have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you guys down the road. Be safe out there.
All right.